Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Here we go. The deadline has been reached, and we have no deals for the New York Knicks. Status quo. Goose egg. Leon's still sleeping. He struck out today again. They did get Gerson Rosas yesterday. I guess that was a well-timed PR move. Should have seen that one coming. Should have known from yesterday that nothing was gonna happen. But either way, here we are. Salute to Knicks Nation. CP the franchise, never ducking from the smoke. Alex Rataros, JD Sports Talk in the building. This is KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com and a promo code KFTV for 20% off, plus free shipping. All right, fellas, let's cut the music. Let's cut the theatrics and get straight to it. We had a trade deadline come and go today. Blockbuster deals all over the place. You have Brooklyn and Philly, New Jersey and Philly making a splash. It's quiet for us, man. It's quiet for us. So what does that mean going forward? We were told that they were looking to unload some vets to make some room for the youth. Everybody was on the block. It was Nerlens, it was Burks, it was Fournier, it was Kemba. Couldn't get it done. No takers for these players that's in a complete tailspin right now. Losing 10 of the last 12, 4 in a row. No takers. Where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? How do you guys? I mean, how do we feel on this day? Poppa left text me and said, "I feel like this is a playoff loss." I kind of feel the same, man. I kind of feel the same. Because on one hand, I could appreciate Leon, Perry, and these guys being conservative as they've just gotten started. No panic moves, no rush decisions. They came in, overachieved last year, made something out of nothing, didn't get much free agents. You had the OB draft, which was a dud. You said, okay, give them some time. This all past off season, they whiff again. They say run it back. Okay, run it back. This year has been a complete disaster, complete nightmare. Everything you feared with regards to this team happening has happened. None of the key acquisitions have played consistently. Your star player or your guy has been inconsistent. He's been melting down. He's been playing better as of late, but been melting down. Injuries. This team is now 24-31 in the 12th spot in the East. It's looking real bleak out here. It's getting late early. We started the preseason with the 50 burger, the 60 burger. Now we eating hamburger helper out here. It's looking bad. Somebody said we went from bing bong to ping pongs, and that's where it's looking right now. So for Leon Rose, it's looking bad, Leon. It is looking bad. You botched the OB pick. No major moves last free agency. No major moves this past free agency. And now you can't get a trade-off to make room for the kids or even to upgrade your roster, which is in a tailspin right now. It is looking bad for Leon Rose and company. They have got to turn things around, and they got to turn it around fast. I'm not talking about going out and going to get a superstar talent just for sake of it. No, but we've got to start seeing incremental progress with this roster, with complementary pieces, with the youth contributing. We've got to see that. So for them to sit on their hands again, it don't look good, Leon. It does not look good. So how do you fix it? They can still salvage this thing. Number one, you meet with the coach and you tell the coach, we've got to start evaluating these youth more. If you can't find a buyout for Kemba, if that's not financially prudent, you sit him. You sit Burks. You limit Burks' minutes. You don't even bother with Taj. Taj is my guy. You don't even bother with Taj. It's Jericho time. We got to see Jericho. We got to see what Cam is saying. Grimes is locked in. Forget Grimes. Grimes is in. You figure out the point guard rotation. If you don't trust McBride, you put Quickly in there at the point. You can still salvage that with the rotation, but the coach has got to get on board. And if the coach isn't on board, then he's got to go, because it may not be Leon and then pushing him out. It's going to be the same fans at MSG when this team is losing with the same lineups that you're throwing out there for the first 55 games. They're going to be calling for his head. Once they do that, Jimmy D's getting involved, and then Leon's days are numbered. So you've got to get this thing turned around fast. This season is finished. They're in the 12th seed right now, languishing in the East. Forget the play-in. You see what Philadelphia, you see what Brooklyn just did in the arms race. They're shooting up to the top. Anybody in the play-in that survives the play-in is only going on their way to the slaughterhouse. Hit the lottery, Leon. Hit the lottery. Call Walt Perrin. Tell him get out his notebook and get to scouting. We've got to get into this draft and pull out an impact player. Because Obi was not an impact player. And the ones before that, no, that wasn't Leon's fault, but they were not impact players. We whiffed on Frank. We whiffed on Kevin Knox. We need impact pieces on this team. Head to the lottery, Leon. Let's see what we have with Grimes. Let's see what we have with Deuce. Can Cam get in the rotation? We've got to get these pieces involved in this rotation, because if you continue to trot out this same vet lineup into loss after loss after loss, the fan base is going to revolt. And then everybody's head is going to be on the block. Quick, fast, and in a hurry. So this one was a disappointment on the strength that you could not clear the roster spot. Now, again, the coach can still move those pieces, but he's got to get on board. There was reports earlier this week that there's been some confusion in the front office. Not everybody's on the same page. Take it for what you will. I can't guarantee one way or the other, but they've got to get it together and get on the same page and rotate these kids in here. I was looking for Burks to go to Utah. Utah in luxury tax hell. They were moving. They had the Ingles contract. They were dangling the Ingles contract. They went younger with Alexander Walker and Hernan Gomez. Couldn't find the spot for Burks. We heard earlier today that they even had Reddish out there to try to move Taj, to try to move Noel. Dragic in the deal. Dragic goes to the Spurs. So that deal falls apart. Lakers don't even end up making moves, neither do the Knicks. So now we here at square one. But it can still turn around, but they've got to make that decision as an organization to infuse these kids, sit these vets or limit these vets minutes, and start focusing on the draft for this year. Then you go into the offseason. These contracts are 1 year removed. They become better assets to move. You try it again. You clear up some cap space, and you bring in pieces that will complement your team. These pieces right now don't complement the team. You go in and you bring the pieces to complement this team. If it's a Brunson, it's a Brunson. We'll see how it goes. But you cannot come back into next year with the same roster. JD, your thoughts.
Well, to start, I'm glad that it sounded like you're coming around with some of your thoughts in terms of what's transpired today and Man, this is an epic failure. I'm so disappointed, man. I'm so frustrated. And it's because I've been saying the same thing all season long. I don't care what happens, playoffs, no playoffs, but me as a content creator, me as a fan, people in the chat, we just want to know one thing. That's all we want to know. What is the plan? What direction are we going in? That's all we want to know. We've been told all along that, well, they have high expectations. You re-sign Randall. Okay, fine. You don't add anybody of significance around him. So now high expectations. We don't meet that. We get close to the deadline. Then we start hearing, well, Burks is a good veteran. The Lakers want him. These guys want him. We can trade these guys. We can trade Fournier. Fournier, who is in his last 10 games is shooting 43% from three. You can't find somebody to take 43% from three, apparently. And it's not like he's 30-something. You can't move that contract. Burks is still shooting decently from the three-point range of the season. Somehow you can't figure it out. But in this team, yes, he can play 30-something minutes on this team. Fournier can be a starter on this team. Kemba can be a starter on this team. But yet around the NBA, nobody thinks what we think of these veteran players. Nobody else around the NBA thinks what we think. Nobody else around the NBA thinks what Tom Thibodeau thinks of these same players, what Leon Rose thinks of these same players. That tells me they have failed. They failed in their free agency signings. They failed in their plan, and they failed in every single way. No, I did not want Bradley Beal. No, I did not want CJ McCollum. I didn't want them to go out and tank and their assets for Dame Lillard. So that's not what I wanted. But what I wanted was a plan, a direction. You just traded for Cam Reddish. So what does this prove? Well, yeah, let's wait to the deadline. They're going to trade these veterans. It's going to open up a spot. We're going to see the plan. I'm still looking. I don't see it. I'm still looking. I don't know what's going to happen. Because tonight, guess what? I expect Kemba Walker to start. If Mitch is out, maybe Todd starts, Noel comes back, whatever the case would be. I don't expect none of these guys, these young guys, to play tonight or start. And that's what's frustrating. Yes, IQ is playing, but where's Sims? Where is Deuce? Where is Cam? That's another group of young players. It's not all about IQ. It's not all about Obi. It's about the full scope of young guys that we have on this team. What is the plan for them? And okay, the next argument I'm going to hear is, well, JD, they'll play the last 15 games of the season. And I hate that mentality. You know why, CP and Alex, I hate that mentality? Because those last 15 games, when they start to get 30 minutes, nobody's going to care. The league's not going to care. The team is not going to care. The coaching staff is not going to care. And any player on this young roster blossoms in the last 15 games, it won't even matter. Because when the offseason comes and the front office is thinking about what improvements to make on the roster, you know what? Nobody's going to think about Deuce McBride averaging 15 points or 13 points in 15 games, because front office, they're not going to take those games seriously. So then what's the point? What's the plan? That's why I've always said, play these guys now while games matter. And how do we trade for Cam? And then today there were talks about trading him out. What is the plan? What are we doing here? So to me, there's a big disconnect between the head coach and the front office. And yes, it's healthy. Alex and I were talking about this. It's a good thing. Fine. It's a good thing because, like I was saying, Alex, myself, CK, CP, we don't always agree on everything. But our objective here is to provide a good show, right? So we don't have to agree. But we all have the same objective in mind. And my concern is the head coach is in charge of directing the minutes and coaching the team. And the front office is in charge of personnel moves. If they don't see eye to eye, that's a big problem. I'd rather have Worldwide West and Leon Rose, have debates, because you're still in the same department. You compromise, you make a decision, and you take the L or you take the win. But when you have a head coach who, according to Ian Begley, has big say on personnel moves. That's like, is it Tom Thibodeau making these moves, or is it Leon? Who's making these moves? We're hiring a consultant or two before the deadline. What?
Still there? You good? I can hear you.
Like,
you good?
It's just, and why? And here's the other thing, Leon Rose. I get it. I'm not one of those guys that just demand somebody to talk to the fans, because I'm in that crowd of what is he going to say. But there's certain occasions and circumstances where it's appropriate. And a day like today, when you know that all these leaks, Ian Begley, who, shout out to Ian Begley, I have high respect for and is very credible, has been consistent. The Knicks are looking to trade these veterans to create a roster spot and a path for Cam Reddish and Deuce and these guys. And that plan failed. It did not happen. And I don't care if tonight you surprise the world and now you start Deuce and you start Sims. Because even if they do that, that means they still failed, because that means now Burks is on the bench, Noel is on the bench, and what is their value for the offseason? The only thing you can count on is that they have a year left on their deals. That's what we have left. That's what we have to grab on.
Expiring contracts.
Is that now you have Ryan McDonough on your channel. That's what he talked about. You know, that now next year, maybe they're more tradable because they have a year left on their contract, a year less on their duration of the contract. Man, today's the day that Leon Rose should have talked to the media and just let us know. Take some questions, some heated questions. Rose, what's the plan? What are we doing? Why didn't we trade some veterans? What's the plan for Cam? Why do you trade for Cam? What is your vision in trading a first-round pick for Cam? What did you see there? And now we're looking to trade him. I don't know what's the plan. And I'll end it with this, man. With Tom Thibodeau, because I wasn't on that show, what he did with RJ Barrett, it's been something that's been consistent. We've been saying it. And to me, it could go under the rug, but not with me. That right there is an illustration of a guy that has been consistent in what he believes in, no matter what. And that's what he did there. And now RJ Barrett is in a walking boot. Congratulations. He's in a walking boot. And you know what's going to happen? Tonight, we're going to see another new lineup. This has been the theme this season. Mitch is out. Noel is out. Kemba's out. Rose is out. There's no chemistry, no continuity. And now we add to it because we want to bring back a player with 3 minutes and something left, and you down 16, and your answer to the media is, well, you know, we thought we could make a run. So then why don't you switch your rotations to end the first quarter, or you stop with these template coaching? If you think you can make a run, why don't you think about that earlier in the games before you wait till you down 16 and 3 minutes left in the game to then now start to bring starters in a game where if anybody had any logical sense in basketball IQ, you was watching that game, you know we were not coming back. There's no way, bro. And now we have our prize cornerstone in a walking boot. So what are we going to learn in the next week? What are we really going to learn? And this has been my disappointment with this season is I haven't learned anything. I don't know anything other than Quentin Grimes has got an opportunity and he can be. What else have I learned? I haven't learned anything. We want to praise them about the draft, but they're not playing them. We want to praise him about, Rokas, we'll see next year. Grimes, okay, can we start him now? Deuce, can we play Deuce? He plays defense. He can play hard. Sims, can we play Sims? Sims can actually catch a pass. He can actually jump. He can play defense. Maybe that's a good idea.
Al,
man, I'll leave some for the watch along tonight, man.
Yeah, we do got the West Coast watch along tonight. So if we don't get to everybody's reactions, everybody's calling, we will have the West Coast watch along, Knicks versus Dubs in San Francisco tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time. So definitely tune in for that as well. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Before we get to Al, I just want to salute, you know what? Al, go ahead to you. We had a $50 super chat in here. I got to pull it up. But Al, go ahead. What you takes?
CP, JD, just like you guys, this trade deadline sucked, man. Like, I was expecting, Burks, Kemba, You know, I even thought the Clippers, who needed a point guard, could come get Kemba Walker. They traded Eric Bledsoe. As of right now, if you look at that depth chart before today, they had Norman Powell listed as that point guard option. You're telling me we couldn't figure out just to attach a second round to Kemba Walker, to move him out of here, to give him even to the Clippers? We got enough second rounders. But you're trying to open up roster spots at this point. It's a sunk cost. You want to waive a guy and pay him? Fine. Whatever. I just don't get it, man. And JD talked about it. What are we doing with this team? I don't want to win any more games at this point. I don't want to make a play-in. I don't even want the luck of the Knicks somehow winning 2 games if they get into 10th and then make the playoffs and get out of the lottery. Because at that point, we're going to be like the Orlando Magic. We'll be like every other middling team that's just a middling team. You're not going to get the talent that's good enough to put you over the top. You're not going to get the players that are needed to actually have firepower. Just end it, man. Start the young guys. Get them all out there. Let's see what we got. You guys said it all. I'm just tired, dude. Like, we know what we have already. We've seen Kemba Walker trot out there. You benched him. You brought him back in. Now you're running him back out there. You say he's a starter. And now he's not even doing the same thing. And now you're afraid to bench him again because you want to showcase him. If you benched him already, you already, like, you killed his value. You legitimately killed his value. If you wanted to move on from him earlier after 20 games, you should have done that instead of trying it if you're going to bench him. Where's that communication? Where's that communication between the coach and the front office saying, hey, you know what, man? Guess what, guys? Kemba Walker's not fitting it here. Can we actually move him? I'll play him a couple more games. Let's increase his trade value at that point. If not, I got to bench him, man, because he's not cutting it. Now he comes back after his knee injury. He doesn't look the same that he did in this December. You're not even getting that same production. He's just out there in the corner. Sometimes he does some playmaking. Sometimes he doesn't. For 2 games, I forget when it was, he had 0 points. 0 freaking points. Yeah. But instead, this is the communication that JD's talking about. Where is that point where you're saying, guys, it's over, done with? Let's see what else we got. Let's put Emmanuel quickly out there. You wanted to go with Alec Burks? In theory, it made sense. Wrote a whole article about it. Go check it out on KnicksFanTV.com. But what are we doing, guys? Like, it makes no sense. You know, JD and I have been on this move Evan Fournier. Sure, he's playing well right now. I don't know how you're the front office and you see freaking Davis Bertans moved with that contract. That man, all he does is shoot threes. Fournier can at least do a bit more than that. You're telling me this front office couldn't move a contract less than Davis Bertans, who doesn't even rebound for you, does maybe a little bit of transition work, does threes, can't even rebound, and he plays a power forward position? What are we doing? Like, I don't want to see any of these guys play tonight. I really don't. I really don't want to see Kemba. I don't want to see Burks out there unless it's limited minutes. I don't want to see Taj. I don't want to see Noel. I don't want to see any of those guys you got to get Deuce's minutes. Off the bench, whatever. You got to get him his minutes. Put quickly in that starting rotation. See what he's got. We have stats to show when him, RJ, and Randall are on the court, it works. It creates that offensive firepower. He can play off ball. It might even actually help Emmanuel quickly get out of his shooting struggles right now instead of trying to be the playmaker and run everything. Get Quentin Grimes in that rotation more. I know he's getting minutes. I want to see what he can do with everybody else with that starting rotation. Get Jericho Sims out there. Dude's a body. He can elevate. I'm just tired of this, man. But I'll say this. I'll say this to not be so negative. The good thing is we actually have youthful talent. This is not Alexis Fed. This is not Lua Munson. This is not Claire Anthony Early. We don't have those guys. We actually, when we see these guys play, there's talent. These guys are hungry. They want to win. They want to compete. That's a good thing. So the front office is drafting well like that. We just need to see them play. You know, I watched that Ryan McDonough that you had, CP. Awesome show. Now we got some expiring contracts this summer. They better move them. All right. You got Noel, who's an expiring contract. You got Burks, who's an expiring contract. I don't necessarily want to see Derrick Rose go, but he's also an expiring contract. They all signed 3-year deals, the last year being a team option. Second year is the year for them for next year. You can move them. Got to go in a different direction. You try to run it back. I could say, okay, fine. You ran it back. You succeeded last season. You over exceeded expectations. I get the thought of paying guys, showing that around the league, if you do work, you'll come back here and we'll pay you. I get that. It looks good from a business standpoint and a relationship standpoint. It also helps out agents, right? Because agents weren't bringing some of the players here. So now agents are like, oh, if you work well there, they'll pay you and they'll keep you around. Fine. I get that. It doesn't work anymore. So that's the spin I can give you. And maybe who knows? Maybe we can get a Jalen Brunson. Maybe we can get a De'Aaron Fox. I saw you retweet CP that even though They traded Tyrese Halliburton. I forget who reported, but they still may be able to move De'Aaron Fox because they really see Davion Mitchell as their starting point guard of the future. All right. You just had that trade with the Dallas Mavericks where they sent KP, which I find hilarious. They traded KP over to the Washington Wizards for Davis Bertans and Spencer Dinwiddie. The cap is still they're still in cap hell over there. All right.
Yeah.
They're going to be over the luxury
KP got traded on deadline day.
KP. Yo, Knicks fans, we got to win. All right. We seen KP get traded once again. We're winning out here. All right. So take that as some solace for what we saw today. But they got guys to match that contract. So you're still in the same situation as Dallas Mavericks. Is Jalen Brunson on the move? Maybe we can go get him. But that means you still got to shed some contracts this offseason. Yeah. So the Knicks aren't down bad as they have been in the past. But this deadline today, it sucked. They failed. You were supposed to move some veteran guys to open up roster spots for young guys. I need to see Cam out there. I need to see all those young guys playing. This is what matters at this point. There's nothing else. Nothing else.
And I'll say this very, very quickly. This is what frustrates me because we're out here speculating because Leon doesn't want to speak. And you know, obviously we rely a lot on the credible reporters, especially Ian Begley, Fred Katz, and a lot of the guys in the Knicks community. And when I see Spencer Dinwiddie shoot 31% from three, 37% from the field, average 12 points, and Alec Burks is shooting almost 39% from three, averaging 11 points, shooting 83% from the free throw line and 38% from the field. Yet he's able to get moved, and Burks has less money, and you can't move that. Then you know what happens? I start to believe the report from Ian Begley that, you know what? Yeah, the Knicks will look to move him, but they're not looking to move him just to move him. Remember that report about a week ago? Mm-hmm. People put it under the rug. It was like, hey, yeah, they'll move him for Cam. But they're not going to move him just to move him. So I start to ask, did they really want to make these moves? Is how much, like, say, does Thibodeau really have here? Like, I don't know what's going on, and I just want to know what's the direction of this team. I haven't bailed on this team. They still have their draft picks. They still have their assets. So I'm not bailing on them. Yeah. But I will say, CP, I am officially concerned with this front office.
Understandable. And today is a day where, you know, Leon should issue a statement. We know how, you know, tight Knicks PR can be. So, Greg, if you are indeed listening, they do need to send out a statement, man, at least. You know, type up a statement yourself, man, on behalf of Leon and talk to the fans, Greg. You got to talk to the fans, man. They're not happy today. So, if you guys are watching out there in San Francisco, go ahead and issue a statement. And as you said, JD, you know, I'm not bailing on Leon. I'm not on the fire Leon bandwagon like some fans may be. But you hit it on the head. The ultimate evaluation, the ultimate judge on Leon Rose is gonna be the day that he moves to bring in that star player. But you've got to take incremental steps to get there. And this year was a dud. Progression is not linear. Progression is not linear, whether it's play development, whether it's team development. But this year's a dud. You can't, there's no other way to slice it. The Rose injury hurt us. You had the ineffective play. Kemba's been up and down. The knee's no good. Fournier's been up and down. He's starting to come on now. Randall's had a meltdown. He's starting to come on now. Overall, the product hasn't been good. So you've got to make some moves to pivot, bring in some more complementary pieces. Get in the draft and get an impact player, man. Get in the draft and get an impact player. It is so crucial. We got to stop wasting our time now trying to shooting for the play-in and all of that stuff. We got to get in the draft. The Dinwiddie move, the KP trade. Look, Dinwiddie's a better point guard prospect than Burks. He's a bit of an insurance policy in case Brunson dips. We'll see what happens if they can go get Brunson. Now in a sign and trade in the offseason, you're going to have the Mavs be doing you some favors at this point. You're going to have the Mavs do you some favors at this point. So I wouldn't necessarily count on it, but TBD. All right, let's go to the phone. Salute to everybody in the chat. Once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. This is Knicks NBA Trade Deadline Central. Leon strikes out. We want to hear from the fans. First and foremost, salute to Tom from Huntington. Drops a $50 super chat before you even started. He said, being a Knicks fan is like being a refugee from a war-torn country. The family is gone, the village is burned down, and all I have left is an Alec Burks poster. JK LOL. Salute to Tom from Huntington. He's also a big-time Manscaped fan. Fellas, go out to manscaped.com. Enter promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. Do not be out there lacking. All right, to the phones we go. King Deej on the Discord. King Deej, let's go.
Yo, run it up. Orange and blue family always. Listen,
Rapid fire, let's go.
Yeah, this is a day that we just gotta stick together, man. Listen, I'm not mad, but this day is confusion. Like, this day is confusion because I'm looking at everybody that did trades from the trade deadline today till last week. You got the Cavs, got the Bucks, Sixers, Raptors, Celtics, Hornets, got Trez. Like, the Hawks are playing better. Like, if they really think that this is a play-in team, I just don't see what you think. I don't see where you think you could jump against the other teams that got better today or in the last week. Like, my whole thing about, and I said I was fair about this, man. So now I got to unleash. Like I said, I'll wait till the trade deadline day to see what they do regarding Cam. For me to wake up in the morning and see the first thing was they were trying to trade Cam, that's not good, man.
Yeah,
they don't really have a direction. Like, where we going? Tonight you could see a starting five of all vets. We're tanking in a wrong way. Like, this is tanking by just being bad.
It's being terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't Orlando tanking or OKC tanking. This is bad. We just need to know what they're doing, because when Rose comes back, like, my question is not even about Cam, but what happens to Grimes? Because now it's all in for a playoff.
I don't think Grimes is going anywhere. I think Grimes is locked in.
But how many minutes is he gonna get? 5, 10? Because you gotta subtract somebody if Rose is coming back and Kemba's playing. Like, somebody's got to get subtracted, CP. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Somebody's minutes got to drop, not drastically, but drop. And it's just like, yo, I look at the schedule. I'm going to hang up after this. I look at the schedule, man. We're still on this road trip, tanking through the West Coast. And then you go home and you play the two teams that did the blockbuster and the Heat.
Twice.
And then
you got the Sixers twice.
Yes. And then you got the Heat, and then you got the Nets.
Yeah,
and then you go back on the West Coast again.
It's done.
Phoenix,
it's done, bro. It's
Sacramento.
It's done.
Yo.
That's why I say go focus on the draft, man. Focus on the draft. Everybody get your fatigues lined up. Dust it off at the closet. It's time. We gonna get this draft talk cracking early, man. It's time, bro. They're not gonna make it.
Take it through the West Coast, man. Take it through the season now, man. Johnny Davis, Jaden Ivey.
Let's go.
The names, all right? Peace and love.
Appreciate it, King Deej on the Discord. Okay, I'm gonna queue up. Oh, we gotta get to the rookie of the year. We gotta get to Michael. While we wait on Michael on the Discord, Michael, you're on the queue. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Ron from Baltimore. Ron, how you feeling?
CP, I want to unleash.
Let's go. Rapid fire unleash. Let's
go. I was told by many content creators that these were movable contracts. Mm-hmm. I heard that for months. Mm-hmm. I heard that in the summer from reputable people.
Well, I mean, it's not easy mid-season, but you're hoping a year removed. Yeah, it should be movable contract. Not mid-season.
CP, not mid-season, but we were told that these would be movable if they needed to. That was rolling all those guys, bringing all those guys back. I was told that if they needed to move them, that they could move them.
Winning games certainly helps. They've been terrible, man. Winning games helps.
I agree. Now, I agree. Let me just say this, because I'm with you, both of you guys. Ryan Windhorst said on Countdown today that executives around the league do not value a lot of the Knicks' younger players. And there's a reason for that. They don't play. They don't play big minutes. Okay, I understand the philosophy of what happened last year. I understand we have to pivot now. We can't. Tibbs has to change. If this was the knock on Tibbs, he got RJ hurt. Okay, I haven't forgiven him for that. He's got to change now. If he doesn't change now, he's got to go. The season is over. RJ Barrett has shown signs. Mitchell Robinson is finally starting to play the basketball we expect. Other than those two young players, there is no purpose for throwing Taj Gibson on the basketball court over Obi Toppin. None. I don't care if Obi misses threes. He needs to play. He's playing 15 minutes a night.
Where are you playing Obi? Where are you playing him? That pick was a dud, man.
You got to find a way to get him 25-plus minutes. I'm not the coach, but you have to find 15 minutes is not enough.
The pick was a dud,
Quentin Grimes needs to Quinn Grimes needs to play more. He's playing only 15 minutes. McBride doesn't play at all. Cam Reddish plays 10 minutes a night. You got to shut down these vets. If you're not going to move them, you got to shut them down. They can't play. They got to get either waived or you got to say sit on the bench next to Mr. Tibbs. IQ, and here's another thing with IQ. I understand he's playing 21 minutes, which isn't awful. A lot of it is because Rose has been hurt. Let's be fair about that. But IQ, yes, he's made a lot of mistakes. Yes, he's looked bad lately. But you know what? You got to let him play through it. Young players will make mistakes. IQ, to me, should still be playing close to 25 to 30 minutes a night. People could think I'm crazy, but we are not winning anything anytime soon. We got to see these young players. We got to increase the value, or if we don't like them, then we figure out that they're not the answers. I understand I don't have all the answers, and this is second guessing. I understand what happened last year, CP, but there comes a point in time where Tibbs has to change. If he does not change who he is and his mindset to develop young players, he's got to go.
You got to move it. You got to move it. And appreciate the call, Ryan.
And I like Tibbs. Tibbs, but he's got to go.
Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. A frustrated Ron from Baltimore. Look, here's the deal with the contracts. They're not team-friendly at the middle of the deadline when the team is playing like crap. Who's going to want those pieces with extra years on their deal? You saw a lot of guys today with expiring contracts get traded. Serge, Rodney Hood, Joe Ingles. The hope is that when you get a year removed, it gets cheaper and cheaper. Don't ask me. Go to the McDonough interview. You had a former GM tell you that himself. Don't believe me. Point is, you still got to want the players. It's not just about the deal. You got to want the players. None of these guys have been playing well at all. They did not do a good job of selling themselves. Norman Powell still got traded. He had a 5-year deal, 5-year, 90-something million. Portland got out of that deal. It's not impossible. But you need the players to play well. You need the players to play well. So again, we'll see what happens. By this offseason, the Burks, the Noel, the Rose deals become expiring contracts. A little bit easier to take on. And when you got a lackluster free agent market, maybe it's a little bit easier to take on. Right now, wasn't a great thing. So now they put Reddish on the block to try to free up all those contracts. What's confusing to me, nobody's untouchable, but it was definitely not a good look. It's a sign that these signings did not work. So you get back to the drawing board, you pivot, and you make moves. Michael on the Discord. Michael, let's go. Let me go ahead and unmute Michael. Michael, let's go.
I want everyone to like this. I want everyone to share to the whole family. I want everyone to hear this right now, okay? I want everyone to hear the greatest Knicks show on the internet right now. I want everyone to hear this. I'm done with Alec Burks. I'm done with Taj Gibson. I don't want to see Alec Burks next season. I swear I better not see Alec Burks with that same haircut he been had since he was 8. I'm done. I'm done with Taj Gibson spotting up in the corner and shooting threes over Obi Toppin. I'm done, bro. I cannot deal with this front office. Like, what are we doing? Are we going veteran or are we going young? You see the free agents didn't work. Okay, you get rid of them or you don't play them. You go young, you go young. You go vet, you go vet. You can't mix. And that's what we're doing. We're trying to mix. Why are we trying to mix? Doesn't make sense. And Tibbs is not helping either because Tibbs he shifts the direction of what the team is trying to do. Every single team, Tibbs has a role in what they did. Now, I'm not saying it's not all Tibbs' fault because it's the front office fault signing Tibbs when RJ, after his rookie year, and then you see Julius Randle not doing good. So you try to sign a development coach, development your young players, not Tibbs. That was a dumb signing to me, especially right now. But, the thing is, needing Rose, the fact that we have to need Rose to win games, and he's 33 years old with 50 million injuries, I don't want to need anyone that's not going to win a chip with us.
Gotta go get some
not
talent,
a superstar
man.
that we need.
Gotta go get some talent, bro.
Yeah, he's got a good talent, but he's not going to be with us forever. So that's where you gotta play the Deuces. You gotta play the Grimes more. You gotta play Cam. And you make RJ injured. Like, RJ is not even a young guy because he's a vet. He's a different beast mentally. And not everyone's gonna be like that mentally. Not everyone's that strong. So you can't just make these players like bipolar and think, okay, you're good, and then you do one thing wrong, you're gone. McBride, I saw him at the Garden. I think he doesn't have a main weakness. I think he's not a great player yet, but he has all the things he can be that he can develop and he can be good. He doesn't have a main weakness. And I saw him, and he was confident out there.
Okay.
And then when he came back from COVID, Tibbs just the Raptors game, it was just a whole different story with McBride and how he looked. And like, it's just the thing. McBride has 9 assists, 15 points after the Rockets game. Grimes has 27 points. Then when they come back, McBride he has one bad game, and then that's it. Tibbs is doing something I've never seen before. Tibbs is developing veterans. He's tanking by playing veterans because that's what he's doing. We're losing anyway, so if he wants to tank, then tank. He's tanking either way.
All right, no doubt, bro.
Not young or not, I'm done.
We're going to drop you
Salute.
off, man. Michael on the Discord. Let's go. Josh B, you up next. Unmute your mic. Josh B going once. People, you got to be ready, man. When you're in the live show on the Discord, you got to be ready. All right. Josh B's going. We're going to queue up Will from LI. Will, let's go.
Wasn't the
Focus. Turn down your radio, bro.
Because of connections.
All right.
His connections to Leon.
Will, you talking to us or you talking to somebody else, bro?
We needed a Kenny Atkinson.
All right. I don't know what.
My man's on another show.
Yeah, Will talking on another show.
Let me go on this show first before CP hit me.
Yo, all right, let me go West Coast, man. Abdul, what's going on, man? What's good?
Yo, what's good, fellas?
How you feeling, bro?
Man, you know what? Right before I jumped on, I'm being very optimistic, man.
Mm-hmm.
I've been through another depressing year as being a Knicks fan. But look, let me share some excitement. All right, I get it. I understand. I was hoping for a big splash, just like most of us Knicks fans were. The last 10 minutes, I was like, okay, Leon going to hit us what? We picked up so-and-so, but it didn't happen, right? So this is what I thought of. I said, okay, look, let's just enjoy the rest of the season, right? A lot of these veterans, they're probably not going to be here next year.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just really just ride the wave, see what happens. Hopefully, I'm not going to say hopefully. Look, guys, Tibbs is always going to be Tibbs, so we need to get this out of our head. He's never going to develop young players. The last young player he developed was D Rose in Chicago. So remember, this is his track record. Last year, they gave us an exciting year, something Knicks fans we haven't had in God knows when. So I get it. We wanted to draw off the momentum. We thought we were doing that by doubling down and bringing the same players back. All I got to say is let's just enjoy the rest of the season. The only thing I can say we got going for us right now is team chemistry. Well, I don't know how far that's going, right, because we have the same dudes in the locker room. And let's just see what happens, right? We got a game tonight. I don't know what the hell is going to happen tonight. But let's just stay focused. CP, JD, you guys, man, thank you so much, man, for jumping on day after day after day. I can imagine what your guys' brain is going through, right? Because you guys put this work together for us. But, fellas, everybody listening, it's okay. We done been through the mud already, right? So get those fatigues out like they mentioned.
Get the fatigues out.
And let's just gear up for Summer League.
Get the fatigues out, man. I see people ready to jump, man. I've been here 17 and 65, man. That's nothing. This is nothing right now.
This is worse.
Straight up,
This
man.
is nothing, man. Y'all got to get it together, man. Today's a down day, but the sun will rise tomorrow. I'll be here. If you don't want to be here, I'll still be here. I'm here tonight, 10 o'clock, West Coast watch long. Already know we're going to get ran out the building by Chef and them. I'm still locked in.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to
If you're
see
die
Kemba
hard,
versus
you're
Curry
die hard,
tonight.
man. If you guys want to jump ship and bail, Brooklyn is looking good for you right now. They just got Ben Simmons. They got Seth Curry. They're looking pretty ferocious. I'm not even going to lie to you. They're going to be a problem. But if you want to run, you guys run. I'll be over here. Yeah, they look at me, man. I'm not gonna lie. All right, I-95 Bully, let's go.
Hey, yo, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, let's go.
Hey, yo, let me tell you something, yo. December 31st,
Yeah.
2021, at 6:22 p.m., my daughter, Michaela, was born.
Congratulations,
You know what we was
man.
doing at 8 o'clock? We was watching the Knicks get smoked by the Thunder. You know what we was doing at 11 o'clock? We was watching KFTV.
Let's go.
Let me tell the organization. He's the only one saying, yo, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I don't care about none of it, and I want all the smoke. Watching these Knicks is like watching a bad movie. I know you got close, so hang up on me whenever you're ready. Just hang up when you're ready.
All right.
We got Julius Randle. He's not a leading actor. He's not a point forward. He got R.J. Barrett. He's not a corner boy. Why is he lining up in the corner? Why is he in the corner? We got Alex Burks, Jordan Burks, Birkin back. He's not a point guard. He's playing point guard. And then we wonder why we can't trade none of these dudes because they got no value because they're not playing how they're supposed to be playing. I don't want to hear nothing. And Leon Rose out there sleeping. He's sleeping. I'm watching these games with my daughter, giving her the bottle. Changing diapers, watching these games, doing math homework with my two boys. Spending quality time with my wife in our jersey. And our snapbacks on. And he falling asleep at the wheel. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to watch the watch along. I'm going to continue watching KFTV. I'm going to continue sitting these super chats. But I'm done. I've been here. Howard Isley. I still got his jersey. Howard Isley. Shannon Anderson. Steve Francis. Ben Davis.
Yeah.
I've been here.
Let's go.
Julius Randle. We here. I've been here. I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm going to continue to support the show. There ain't no tank. Everybody's saying, play the young boy. That's not tanking. Let's give me something different. It's conservative. We want to wait till the right move. Yo, make any damn move. I'm out. Holla at me.
9-5 bully. Hey, man. This is the show, man. My man was tight. Congratulations to him, though, man. And I like the fact that he was watching KFTV the day his daughter was born, man. That's a special family moment right there. Right. All right, let's go to where we want to go to. Bay Area, Eugene. Let's go.
Yo, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Let's go.
Look, I'm not even upset. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. Yeah. You know, like you hope to see something happen. Well, first let me go positive. Mm-hmm. Let me just list off some of our young players that we've had in the past. Alonzo Trier, Damian Dotson, Frank Ntilikina, Kevin Knox. Like, these are barely Thanasis Antetokounmpo. Like, these are barely NBA players. So we got to be at least excited for the fact that at least we got some young players who are there. The potential is a lot higher than some of the people that I just mentioned. But now going back to what JD and you said, you know, your goal was like hopefully Tibbs will play the young players. Look, I'm just gonna be honest. You guys are delusional. There's no way Tibbs is as stubborn gets. There's no way he's playing Deuce McBride 20 minutes a night. There's no way he's playing Jericho Sims 20 minutes a night. He should, but there's no way that's happening.
Nah, so I mean, this is not going to be a full kid show. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of the coach, this is never going to be a full kid show in New York. It'll be like that in OKC, but it's never going to be that way. It's going to be balanced. It's going to be balanced, bro.
Now, the dude that a couple calls before said, hey, I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the season. It's impossible to enjoy the season because nobody wants to see Taj Gibson play 25 minutes. Nobody wants to see Alec Burke play 35 minutes. So it's almost impossible to enjoy and to get excited about this season. So, the one thing that I will say is that I agree with JD and CPD and Alex. I think that Leon should say something, at least tell the fans, where is it that you're trying to go? What is your plan? What's the next step? Okay, if it's getting these contracts that are coming off the books, and you're going to be able to move that for a couple pieces, get some better pieces around people like RJ, people like Quentin Grimes, so on and so forth, then great. But at least let us know. So that's it. That's all. I'm frustrated. I want to see the kids play. I don't think they are going to play, which is making me sad to continue to watch these games. So that's all I got to say. I'll let you guys keep doing your thing. Shout out to the team. You guys are doing an amazing job.
Appreciate it, bro. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for your boys. This is Knicks Fan TV Live, presented by Manscaped. Knicks trade deadline dud. Leon strikes out, man. Call us up. Let us know what you guys think. It's a pretty disappointing day in the nation, man. If you guys are listening right now, it's a very disappointing day. But we got over 2,000 people here watching. I don't know if you Knicks fans or just people who like to see the Knicks fans be miserable. But either way, you're all welcome here. Friends or ops, whatever it is, man. Hit that thumbs up button for your boys. Remember that this show is presented by Manscaped, fellas. As I said, man, go to manscaped.com. Promo code KFTV. Go out and get that lawnmower 4.0. It'll change your life. It's got the LED light, you know what I'm saying? If you want to do it in the dark, whatever you're into. It's got a nice aerodynamic, skin-safe technology. So, you go easy down there. You don't have to worry about chopping your joints up. You know what I'm saying? So it's very, very sleek, very aerodynamic. And they got a lot of new products, man. You got the body wash. You have the shampoo, conditioner. So shout out to our guys at Manscaped. They keep the whole team laced. And once again, man, go to manscaped.com, promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. And JD and Al, I don't know if you got your tracking information, but my guys at Manscaped said they got a little something for you guys on the way, man. So definitely check the mail soon because, we got some new stuff on the way. Speaking of Manscaped, so it's a time from Huntington. He says, $25 super chat. He says, one more thing. Shout out to Manscaped, Prize Picks, and the best Knicks show around. Got my Army fatigues, 40 belows, and I'm ready to tank. He's ready to roll. Absolutely ready to roll. All right, who else we got here? Let's go on the Discord. Sir Atlantis, go ahead and unmute your mic. Sir Atlantis. Sir Atlantis on the Discord. Going once.
Hello.
Yo, let's go.
All right, first and foremost, on my Knicks Fans TV, the PJD Alex, just want to say I appreciate you guys for having me on the panel.
Appreciate
and I just want to say I'm here to bring calm to the storm, guys.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. I like that. Let's go.
While I'm a little mad about this deadline, of course, there are some things to be mad about. I give Leon and his crew efforts for not just blowing everything, right? When Leon first came here, he gave a message to the team that said he would work tirelessly and endlessly to refix basically all the things in the past that Phil Jackson may have messed up. So I'm guessing here is that he came in with a plan. We made the playoffs after being a disaster for more than a decade. So it was okay for him to run it back. But he didn't run it back in a irresponsible way. He had expiring contracts that are easily tradable. Let's not forget that Leon Rose is an agent. He will have no problem bringing people here to the Knicks, this huge franchise organization, and he's an agent. He's talked to players before, right? So let's not just get mad that we didn't blow everything up at trade deadline. But what I am disappointed at is that we made no increment changes to fix the lineup, to clear a spot for Cam Reddish, or just move Burks for any picks at all. That part is ridiculous, but I think that shows us that what his plan is and what I believe it may be is that he continues to play these players, right? We go in, we don't play well. We have a terrible schedule ahead. We go into the draft, we get these players in the offseason. Brunson is still there for us to get. Brogdon is still there for us to get. We can go ahead and go and get these players with these expiring contracts. As I think it was JD that said this, right? Obviously, Dinwiddie's way ahead than Alec Burks, and you can trade him, but the numbers are very similar. There were teams that had interest in Alec Burks and some of our rookie prospects. So people saying that there was no trade out there, I just don't believe it. It's just Leon's going to find the trade that's right, like he did with Cam Reddish. It may look questionable now, but I'm here to bring calm to the storm, guys. And as I preached before, have a little bit of patience. Let us see what would happen in the offseason. Let us see what moves we'll make. Our point guard, whether it's Brunson or Brogdon, they're still out there. We still have the pieces. We still have these aspiring contracts. We will be there. The rookies will play. These guys aren't here forever. Just give it some time. And when I say have patience, I'm not saying have patience with the Knicks in general. I'm saying have patience with this new organization. It's a new president. Okay. It's almost a new team. So bring calm to the storm. Let's relax. Let's go full reset. I'm gonna go to the Nets. I don't want to hear any of that. Let's just have a little patience. We will be fine. The contracts are movable. I'm here to bring calm to the storm. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Sir Atlantis on the Discord. Rate that call in chat, man. 1 through 5. He's preaching patience. How you guys feeling about that, man? How you guys feeling about that? Sir Atlantis preaching patience. Anybody on the panel want to get in? Go ahead and jump in. I'm just going rapid fire with the calls. So I want to get as many people in here. But yeah, go ahead, JD. You sound like you want to say something, man.
Nah, I mean, yeah, I mean, it sounds good, but when I see the tweet tonight of the starting lineup, I'm just gonna go back to. So like I said, it is what it is. The trade deadline's over. There's nothing we can do. The next step from there is seeing what direction the organization takes and what approach they take to the remaining games of this season. And priority number one for me now is development of the young kids and getting prepared for the off season. But the one contrary to that is, what does Tibbs think? And I think, that's the most important thing right now. And that's what has us anxious. What does Tibbs think is the correct approach to the next 20 to 25 games or whatever it is, before we get to that last stretch of games where everybody just mails it in and then you're really playing the young guys. So I'm just interested to see, how the Knicks approach, what their mindset is, and how they, because remember, still got Rose coming back. So does Tibbs look at this like, yo, we got to make the playoffs, man. Like, we're only a few games back, and does he think Rose is really a part of that? So all eyes on Tibbs at this point for me.
I get the balance and like the patience aspect, but when it comes to like making deals, I think that sure, maybe Leon Rose is waiting for the deal that seems right to him, but the question is he actually looking at the market pretty well to wheel and deal? Is he making those actual methodical decisions, or are we just holding on for something in hopes that someone meets the expectations that Leon Rose wants to make? Has to be a balance between, all right, I don't want a front office to go out there and just rush to make any move possible, but I also don't want them to hold on to guys and then overvalue these guys just because it hasn't worked out for them. Ian O'Connor talked about the Evan Fournier contract and how it didn't work out yesterday. And I said, what the translation to me is like, all right, so you're saying that's a bad signing, so they should just eat it and just have Evan Fournier play? No, if Evan Fournier is a bad signing and you believe that it's a bad signing, you should do what you can to move off that contract. Now, regardless, Evan Fournier is playing well, but the thought process is sometimes when you make a mistake, you have to man up to that you made that mistake and try to move off of it. So I get being patient, but Leon Rose also has to show at some point that he's willing to make a move, say, hey, it didn't work out. I go out to eat this one. I have to sell this guy a little bit lower than market value than what I thought he can actually get, and keep it pushing.
So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Back to the Discord we go. He's making his way to the Chase Center in San Francisco, on his way to rep heavy. J Cal on the Discord. J Cal, let's go.
Yo, you can hear me?
Loud and clear. Let's go, J Cal.
Crispy? All right.
Let's go.
I know everybody's hurting right now. I know this isn't easy, but we're Knicks fans. We've been through this many times.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like an Eddie Curry kind of situation. Let's just all take a deep breath. If Randall had played, I don't know, 20% better than he has this year, if he was 80 or 90% instead of 50% of what he was last year, we're a play-in team right now, obviously. We're very close. And, Tibbs isn't the most frustrating coach you can imagine when you have this much young talent on a team. And that is actually the silver lining here, because the reason we're all so frustrated is because we see all this talent backed up. We want to see them play. We do not want to see Kemba. We don't want to see Fournier. And I mean, I'm going to go to the game tonight. I'll be right behind the bench. I need some advice on what I need to tell Tibbs, because he needs some advice right now. I'm probably getting thrown out halfway through the second.
No way.
Start off by telling him don't put starters in when they're down 16 and there's 3 minutes left in the game. We can start there.
Yeah, we can start there.
We're going to be down probably more than that tonight.
This is going to be. Tonight's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to watch.
Tough, man.
This whole West Coast trip, been brutal to watch. And the fact that now Randall is still here, is what's his head going to be like? That's what I'm looking for. Is like, now that because he felt like he was out the door. I think we all got that sense that he wanted to go, or he was half-heartedly here. Mm-hmm. Now we got him. I mean, he's going to play the rest of the season. Yeah. I mean,
well,
what's he going to look like?
He's certainly trending upwards. Last couple games on the West Coast trip, he's been playing better. Well, let's see how he plays tonight against Golden State. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The crazy thing is right now, this is my question for you guys. Mm-hmm. We saw that second unit, Obviously, Rose is out, but the second unit has been extraordinary. They were the number one second unit for a while there. Obviously, they're playing other people's second units. We get all the caveats. If we started the second unit 10 games ago, whatever, would we be in the 8th seed, 7th seed? Like, if we had just gone with the youth movement, with that second unit, where would this team be? And that's what's frustrating to me is like Tibbs is continuing to be loyal to these vets who are not playing. They're not motivated. They're not playing well. They're not trying hard. And I think that's we talk about this all the time on KnicksFanTV, but we just want to see you work hard out there. We don't care win, lose, draw, whatever. Just work hard. And what's really frustrating is it's clear Tibbs works hard, but he's working these guys who just have not worked hard enough to wear the Knicks uniform. And that's what's frustrating for me. And then you see, these kids off the bench or, our sophomores or juniors, they're killing it. They want to play hard. Let them play, and let's see where we're at. And, I'm not surprised we didn't get any takers. Because in order to get a trade, the other side has to want what you're giving them. The other side has to
want what you're giving them. There are two parties at the table, J. Cal, as you know.
I've been in a couple of negotiations in my career. Yeah. They don't want what we have.
Facts.
Nobody wants Kemba. Nobody wants Fournier. I don't think anybody wants Randall at this point. They don't want that head case. So, and then even with the kids, they definitely want IQ. They definitely want Mitch. They definitely want... Deuce. I mean, there's a lot of Grimes. There's a lot of other talent there they probably would have taken. So I think we might have been in a situation where, maybe to move Randall, maybe to move Kemba, they wanted some of that young talent. And we could have been sitting here with, Mitch and IQ or Jericho Sims gone or Obi and being like, was that worth it?
Right.
So maybe we dodged a bullet here. I don't know. I'm incredibly frustrated. I'll be at the game tonight.
Let's go.
If you see me get thrown out, somebody bring.
You got to tell
Maybe you
Shamath,
could get some
man.
super chats for the bail money.
You got to tell Shamath to protect you out there, man. There's no way you could get thrown out there, man.
I'm gonna be literally right behind the bench. My guy got me the seats right behind the Knicks bench.
All right, let's
go. I will be chatty.
Let's
be chatting. Let's go.
Let's
go,
man. Salute J. Cal out in the Bay Area. Salute to everybody out there in the chat. Hit that thumbs up button for you boys. KnicksFanTV Road Warriors. We got a couple people out there that's gonna be repping KFTV out at the Chase Center. So salute to them as well. I mean, look, the Rose injury hurt us a lot. Hurt us in a major way. It hurt quickly. It hurt Burks. Hurt everybody. It hurt Obi. It hurt everybody. What does it say about the talent on our team that we're relying on him to help this team? That's what I mean by we need more impact players, man. All these other guys are cool. They're nice role players, but we need more impact players. Julius can be that at times. RJ has shown the ability to be that at times. After that, that's it. We need Rose, man. And he's 35. We need impact players, and that's why at this point, go to the draft. You're already going south. Focus on the draft. Sprinkle the kids in. Swap out the lineups. Problem is, who does Tibbs trust at the point guard? It's unclear right now. Probably nobody at this point. So that's going to be kind of hard. But yeah, no doubt, man. The Rose injury hurt that whole second unit, and it's got everybody playing out of position and uncomfortable out there. So it's just unfortunate. Just unfortunate.
And what's interesting is when you look at the standings, and you're Tom Thibodeau, he's looking at the standings and he's like, wait, we're only 3 games back in the loss column of the 10th seed Atlanta Hawks. And the 11th seed is the Washington Wizards, who have 29 losses to our 31. And by the way, they lost Bradley Beal for the season.
Destroyed the whole team.
And they lost Bradley Beal for the season. So are they even playing for that play-in spot? So Tibbs is probably thinking, we can make the playoffs, get Derrick Rose back. I'll start Kemba tonight, Alec Burks. And that's why I said this is going to be very interesting. And to J. Cal's point about the assets and the young guys, and to yours, CP, this is why I've been saying from the beginning, let's increase the young guys' exposure, because those are your valuable assets. You want to increase that. You want to build that up. I don't think, you talking about the Hawks. The Hawks were pushing to get Grimes in those conversations for Cam Reddish. You know why? Because Grimes at that point in time in the season was beginning to get that increase, and his value and demand started to increase as well because he was taking advantage of his opportunity. Mm-hmm. So we don't know what opportunities are in the marketplace or what opportunities could develop in the marketplace if we're having some of these guys at the end of the bench and then we finally decide to play them in when there's 15 games left, where at that point other GMs, they're not going to value those, production at that point of the season. They're not going to value it the same if you do it now, or a week or two ago, where games matter, where there's still high intensity, where there's still game planning, where there's still scouting against you. The last 10, 15 games of the season, it's just going to be, hey, so that's what's frustrating about, this team and this mindset at this point for me.
So to everybody in the chat, get it out. Get it.
No, I was just going to say, to add on to JD's point, like if Tom Thibodeau thinks that 3 minutes left is enough to make a run, then you're absolutely correct to see, look at the standings, and you think you're, 2.5 games back out of the 10th seed?
And that's why when everybody's like, CP, you said playoff push, you said playoff push. I'm not the coach. The coach is playing these players to make the playoffs. If you don't see that, it's obvious. Is that not obvious?
No,
look at where they are.
And we'll see tonight. We'll see if the front office and Tibbs had that conversation, who's out there. And if it's Kemba, Fournier, and all those guys, then you know where they stand. You know where they stand, and you know the trajectory that they're trying to go for. And if that's the case, it's going to be miserable, man, because then we're going to figure out we've literally figured out nothing from this season other than that quickly, slightly improved his playmaking. Obi Toppin is more confident, and Quentin Grimes can play a good amount of minutes. But other than that, we've learned nothing about the other guys that we've drafted.
That's the thing. You don't want to end up having this be a complete waste of a season by playing Nerlens and Burks and Taj and all these guys. Like, got to start getting these kids activated and involved. The playing is absolutely useless to beating. So as I said, as an organization, they're gonna have to sit with Tibbs and like, yo, this is where we want to go. Are you the guy for this? If this is not for you, we part ways. Leon, this is Leon's team. This is Dolan's team. It's very easy with a Thibodeau standpoint. Everybody's like, oh, Tibbs is running it. He's the Don. This is Leon's team. And he can make it very easy for himself. Going to the coach and saying, where do you want to go? Because like I said, he keeps trotting out these same lineups at MSG and they keep getting washed. He's going to be moving to that unemployment line fast because now the customer's going to start speaking. When the fans start speaking, JD starts getting itchy. Not JD here, James Dolan. That's when he starts tweaking. And then you're out of here. So
JD in the straight shot.
There you go, J. Cal. JD in the straight shot. That JD. You know what I mean? He's been tuning up the guitar all year. He's been chilling. But now he's going to start getting aggy. So it's best for everybody to make sure that these kids start getting a look.
CP, quick question. Do you see Kemba? Does Kemba finish this season as a New York Knick?
Only because I don't think they will buy him out. I think he will, but you got to put him on the bench, man. And
then that's that. They've put themselves again in another tough situation.
That was Tibbs.
By not, doing that.
Yeah, that was Tibbs, man.
That's why I said if you have to have that communication before you bench somebody. I don't even know. We don't even know if the front office was even on board with that, because you could have moved him at that point. Because you could say we were still in that. We don't know about Kemba. You could have probably just moved him, called it off, and just parted ways and made it all simple. Now you're in that position where, are you going to try to trot him out and try to say, hey, let's just increase his trade value again? That makes no sense, because it's not going to happen.
It's not going to
So
happen.
now you're going to buy him out? Keep him on the bench?
Nah, because I feel like they need as much cap space as they can for next year, right? So buying him out is gonna be difficult from that standpoint. I think you're gonna try to just let this thing play out. Maybe try again in the off season, but it's gonna be hard, man. You know,
he's probably the player out of all the candidates that, and he has the less number, like, you know, 8 million, I think it is. But he's the player that you have the toughest sell to move, even as an expiring, because again, you could make the small case that, okay, Noel gets healthy, somebody might bite if he's healthy, right? Like if he's healthy, somebody may at least value something. You attach an asset or something, you can potentially move him. Burks, give him, you know, another year left. He's a veteran, versatile, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you can move him. You can make a case. Fournier, maybe now, you know, digesting that contract with a year, you know, a year less on the duration of the contract. He's shooting still 40% from three. You can make a case. What is the case for Kemba? He's a year older. His knee's not going to get better, and he's still going to need the same type of management in terms of back-to-backs.
Yeah.
There's nothing that improves in terms of him making a case to be a contributor to an NBA team. So to me, they're either going to have to put him on the bench and deal with it or waive him.
Yeah.
You know what the stubbornness was? They should have, like, when D Rose got injured, if he was healthy, they should have put him coming off the bench in that D Rose role. Because I think even at minimum, Kemba can offer that to a team, and you can have him play 20 minutes so you don't hurt his knees, so you can still get some productivity. Because even with his name value coming off the bench, you can command a youthful unit on another team. He can organize that offense, try to do something. But no, you just went straight to benching him. And Tibbs is like, I see him as a starter in this league. Come on, man. This is the flexibility you need to have. Just try something and experiment. It's too rigid.
Yeah. So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. Let me shout out some of the super chats. We got a lot of super chats coming in. Typically, I would save it to the end just to make sure that we get to most of our callers. We're going to do the West Coast watch along tonight, so we'll take a couple more calls here. And then if you didn't get on here, you could certainly get on at 10 o'clock because there may not be much good basketball to watch anyway.
We're going to have time.
What'd you say?
I said we're gonna have time.
We got time.
Sure.
We got time tonight. You know what I'm saying? We got time tonight. So we'll take a couple more here and then wrap up and continue part 2 at 10 Eastern. Bad Black Man says, read the room. CP, don't come in here with that. You got to understand trash today. Tomatoes all day. So he wasn't feeling it. Hey, man, listen, I'm just being honest. It just is what it is. Sam Khan says, I'm just here to see JD have a mental breakdown live. Navy says, JD looks sick. LOL, my man's super blowed right now. M. Rivera 4396 says, I feel the same way I felt when Patrick Ewing missed the finger roll when Hibbert blocked Melo. A total gut punch. The sports guy, $5 super chat, says, no CP slander will be tolerated. I appreciate it, man, but I never duck the smoke. You guys know that. Kaiser Sose 718 says, CP, tell it how it is. No cap. Just forgot to mention we got rid of Randall, Burks, Noel, Kemba, and Fournier, build around RJ Barrett.
Glass is still downstairs, CP?
Nah, I got him, man. I got him. You know what? I was trying to tough it out. We Them Boys says, Dow teams will trade for Nerlens, Fournier, Burks in the offseason. Leon Rose not looking good. Kenny Gales, now that I get to watch Burks, Kemba guard Steph Curry tonight while RJ sits on the bench in a walking boot because Leon took a nap. What is the plan, Leon? Shout out to J Cal, $100 super chat for the boys. He says thumbs up for you boys. $100 super chat, cheaper than the emergency therapy session or antidepressants. So salute to J Cal, man, on his way to the Knicks versus Warriors scrimmage. Okay, let's go to
scrimmage.
Yeah, it's gonna be them type of levels, man. It's gonna be those type of levels, man. Yeah.
Scrimmage or slaughter?
Oh yeah. It's gonna be rough, J Cal, man. Khalil in the BK. Khalil, what's going on? Khalil going once?
Hey, what's good? CP, JD, Alex. How y'all doing? Hit
Good,
that
man.
thumbs up button for your boys.
Absolutely.
We in therapy today.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is, I agree with a lot of what you're saying, CP. This is why I'm not too upset because I had conservative expectations for this trade deadline. I knew that they were trying to shed salary to open up space for Cam. And so I expected that they moved Burks or Kemba or both at least. The fact that they didn't do anything is disappointing, but it's better than making a panic trade that actually makes us worse in the long run.
Right.
I had a question though.
Real quick. Here's the thing on that, real quick. They can still. Well, 1 second. They can still accomplish what they set out to accomplish at the deadline, and that is by limiting these guys' minutes or benching some of them. You didn't have to make a panic move and attach a draft pick to get these contracts out if the objective was to get these younger kids minutes. You can still accomplish that. It wasn't to say that they're trying to clear up a roster spot. They have the guys on the roster. Switch up the rotations. And you don't have to make a panic move and send out draft picks to get rid of these contracts. Just switch up the rotations. Go ahead, bro.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And the thing is, right? I think that as disappointed as we are in Leon, who obviously is out of his depth, this really is a failure on Tibbs. This really is a failure. Evan said it perfectly when he said the same thing we've been saying all season. I think we have the right pieces. We're just not putting them together the right way. That was a dig at Tibbs for not having those in-game adjustments, for not mixing and matching, these players. JD, you say it like every post game, template coaching. We have the pieces. And you're right. Like we learned so little. And I think that's what they're trying to do now. The pivot, I think Kemba's going to come off the bench because I think, that they're going to try to see if they could, elevate his value, sell him as a, instant offense bench scorer, by pairing him with the IQ or a Grimes that's going to, make him a little bit better because there'll be more perimeter defense in that backcourt with him. So I expect IQ to start tonight. That's the most conservative move because you're only moving one person, and Burks has started most games this year, so that's not worried about starting Burks. I had a question for y'all, though. What numbers does a starting caliber point guard need to put up for y'all to to sign him in free agency, and how much would you be willing to pay? Actually, no, I'm going to reverse that. How much would you be willing to pay for a starting caliber point guard?
I mean, that all depends, man. Depends on who it is. It depends on who it is. Like I said, a potential Fox acquisition with Julius here. I mean, and then the prospect of having to sign RJ, that would be kind of tough. Tough to swallow. You would have to hopefully trade Julius for Fox if you're going to get that. Does Brunson get what? What can Brunson get? What, 15? What do you guys think Brunson will get on the open market?
I think from what I saw,
I think
he's
Brunson, they're
projecting 80.
Sorry, I cut you off.
Go ahead, Al.
It's all good. It's all good. I think Brunson was projected for 80, which would be cheaper than De'Aaron Fox. And in my opinion, it's a more well-rounded player than De'Aaron Fox. You get the elite speed with De'Aaron Fox, like going downhill, some decent playmaking. But if you want a guy, and I wrote this, I said this myself in the most recent KFTV Roundtable article, he's giving me some kind of Lowry vibes, man. Small point guard, 6-footer, can score at all three levels. He gives you good offense. He can play make for you. He can play off ball, especially if you want to feature someone like RJ, who, if you want to have him do some playmaking, have the ball in his hand as well. Plays solid defense, not great, but he plays solid defense, willing to take a charge. And he has a cerebral aspect when he plays the game. So I like all of that about Brunson. He's giving me kind of these Kyle Lowry vibes, and they both went to Villanova.
Yeah, can't lose with a Nova product. And again, the Dinwiddie acquisition by Dallas, I think that says that yes, Dallas will try for Brunson, but I don't think they're gonna move heaven and earth to keep him. I think that's what that Dinwiddie gives them a little bit of leverage there. So we'll see. Now, will they want to help the Knicks in a sign and trade? That will be left to be seen. Or if the Knicks can free up the salary to get him in the offseason, that'll be left to be seen. So we'll stay tuned on that. JD, your thoughts on it?
I mean, I had read on the Dallas side in terms of some of their reporters and stuff that they expect Brunson to try to aim at 22, 23 million per year. Now we always know you go into the offseason, you aim at something. Doesn't mean that that's what you're going to get, but that's business. It's tactics. I'm sure Mitchell Robinson is going to aim to beat that Robert Williams contract. Yeah. That's what he's going to aim for. Will he get it? That's another conversation. So if he's aiming at that and the second half he plays well, he has a good playoffs, playoffs inflate your value. All he needs is to have a nice playoff. Maybe they'll surprise a team in the first round, and you can forget about it. He's definitely going to get north of 20 million. So this is this is what you put yourself into, right? Because now this front office is going to go into this offseason with pressure. I said this was the first deadline where I kind of wanted to see what they were going to do. Now this is the first off season, even though this is Leon's second, but this is the first one where everyone's going to be like, okay, what are we doing?
It's time.
Right? Especially if, let's say you get in the lottery, you get one of these top young prospects. That's good. But now what are we going to surround them with? Because guess what? At some point, you want to pay RJ and these young guys, you got to start winning at some point. You know what I mean? You got to start showing that that's where you're headed towards. Like you said, CP, you want to start seeing some incremental progress.
Yeah, I think year 3 is when the pressure is going to start getting turned up. It's starting now. And they got to start making progress with this team. And it's got to start with the draft, man. You need an impact player. The Obi thing was a dud. Not because I don't think Obi's going to be a great player or a good player even, but he's buried here. You have 2 redundant pieces right now, and the coach doesn't want to go small and play him that way. He has his own struggles, needs a point guard to play with him. We had other needs at that time. We had other needs. We had needs at the point. We had needs at the wing.
You could raise his value by playing him at the 5. I get it. He's not a fit at the 5 for this system. He's not a fit at the 5 for this coach. He's not a fit at the 5 for this roster because playing the 5, putting him at the 5 means you better have a nice pick and roll point guard to take advantage of having a tweener at the 5. So he doesn't fit in any sense of the word at the 5. But you know where he could fit by doing that? His trade value. You know what he could give you by doing that? You could have another organization that says, oh, look, he plays well at the 5. Maybe him here with our point guard, maybe that could work. And then in the offseason, maybe you can make a move. Not saying that you should move Obi, but as a front office, it is your duty to put yourself, you have assets, you have to maximize it so that when you're at the negotiating table, you dictate terms. You don't do what was reported yesterday that we were trying to attach a first round pick next to Evan Fournier to get rid of that contract. That's not the idea here. That wasn't the idea when you signed Evan Fournier. Is to, after year 1, you trying to trade him with a first round pick. That's not, we didn't hire this front office to put us in that position. We hired them to put us in a position to build a sustainable contender. And right now, we'll see what they have in the offseason.
And you know who likes to run the pick and roll? Kemba Walker. You know who you could have put him on the bench with to run the pick and roll frequently? Obi and Kemba Walker. But no, this is where you can make those experiments. You could have shown Kemba still had something. Because Kemba, we see when he runs the pick and roll, and we were there at the Minnesota game when he was running with Mitch, it looks crisp. We saw him, he had 8 assists the other night. Looks crisp. Try him out with Obi Toppin.
Yeah.
These are the things that Tibbs has to do just to help the front office even to move somebody like Kemba Walker and to show they still have value. It's simple as that.
So to everybody in the chat, once again, hit that thumbs up button for you boys. If you guys are new in the chat, leave us a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out, man. We got 2,600 people in here. Welcome to the #1 show for the fans, by the fans. This is KnicksFanTV, KnicksFanTV Live, presented by Manscaped. Go to manscaped.com. Promo code KFTV for 20% off plus free shipping. We are just wrapping up a miserable Knicks trade deadline. We'll be back on tonight at 10 o'clock for the West Coast watch along. I want to get to a couple more calls. The rhyme animal Chuck D is with us. Chuck D on the Discord. Let's go.
I'm going to take something from my man Ron from Cleveland. Man.
Chuck,
Nick,
what's good, man?
Yo, confusing, but Knicks Fan TV makes it clear. Alex JD had a sermon earlier. One thing about OGs like myself, we don't understand the new math. So thank you. Nick Nation is tight. I'm wearing the KFTV hat. We got Will, who is remixing content providers. He was like, and Jay and Ari, they Denzel and Training Day and everybody today. Listen, last year, gateway drug. So we gotta take some people to rehab. It's not a good look, not winning, no matter what you're doing. not playing the young and destroying your vets. So hopefully, we get up out of this. We know KFTV is going to the Eastern Conference Finals. We're sorry our team can't.
It's facts.
Come with us.
We here, man.
And anything could be expected. I expect the front office to put Kemba's jersey up in the rafters the way they going. So that's my rapid fire, man.
Let's
See
go.
y'all tonight. I'm on West Coast time. Let's go.
Let's go. The Rhyme Animal Chuck D. Everybody throw hashtag PE in the chats. They already flying in the chat right now. Salute to the legend. Jeff E. Houdin says truth. Hashtag PE. Hashtag PE. Black Jackson. King Deej. Russell Whiskey. The regulars in here. Comedian Senator P. We got a lot of regulars in here. Michael Sharon wants to go. Salute my guy. Gotta be legend for the super chat. He says it's called Know Your Personnel. That's a fact, man. He's got a point there. Joanna sends a super chat. Says, how does the panel feel about helping Dame run from the grind? You guys want Dame in the offseason? Portland feels like they could build around him and add some more pieces for him. So, see how that goes. All right, a couple more. Let's see if Will's ready now. You know what I'm saying? Will, are you on the Discord? Will from Long Island. Will, what's good, bro?
Hey, bro, my bad. I didn't know you guys were hitting me up earlier.
Oh, sorry, man. We appreciate you finally getting back to us.
I was going at it with inside of the room with some of the guys, man. My fault.
I mean, Will, you've been a day one regular. We go to you and you having sidetrack conversations, bro. This is number one show for the fans by the fans, bro.
Absolutely. I forgot where I was for a second, but I'm back now. That's my bad.
All right, no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah, man. I'll just keep a rapid fight because you guys basically just said everything I had to say. But it's a Tom Thibodeau issue, bro. It's a Tom Thibodeau issue because if you're gonna go with the veterans, you gotta make sure you're winning because those veterans are gonna be the pieces that you ideally want to move. But when you go with the veterans and you're not getting anything, you can't trade your young players because they don't have any value. Same thing JD said with Quentin Grimes. Okay, we don't know if we could have flipped Obi at this trade deadline because at the same time, he hasn't played. Nobody's going to want to take Obi. And then this is just what it is, bro. I'm going to give Tibbs one last chance. One last chance, bro. If this man does not play Cam Reddish tonight, we got to start a change.org petition to get this man out of New York. The stubbornness is come to an end because it's one thing if you're sticking to your convictions. You don't want to switch it up. Okay, that's fine. But when you don't get any wins from it, and now I feel like Tibbs doesn't even want to go young for the simple fact that he doesn't want to be like, oh, if we do start winning, he's going to be like, oh, well, we're winning now. And then everybody's just going to come at him and be like, why weren't you doing this before? So I don't know, man. I'm going to give Tom Thibodeau one last time to get with the program. Okay. Play the kids Tibbs, please. If he doesn't,
the kids Tibbs.
We got to get him out of New York, and that is what it is, man. But shout out to you guys. I'm definitely going to be on the West Coast watch along and everything like that. Thank you guys for putting me on, and just remember, you guys hit that thumbs up button for the squad giving us this therapy session. All right,
yes, sir.
You guys take care, man. Be blessed. Take
Absolutely,
care.
Will from LI. Appreciate the call. Okay, let's go to Poppa Left. Poppa Left. Let's go.
Yo, CT, man, these guys right now, they need to know that, the Six Flags Flash Pass Spaces stuff that's going on in Knicks Twitter, these people are trying to jump you, man. They're trying to jump you. They're trying to jump the hard work by you, JD, and Alex. And speaking of JD, no $50 for you. No 50 burger, nothing.
We went from the 50 burger to hamburger helper, man.
Nothing.
We
you don't
down
get
bad.
anything.
We eating steak and shake tonight, man.
I'm behind the pregame show, and JD's trying to figure out how to watch the game tonight. Well, sorry, bro. You would have got $50. You could have watched a lot of games from me, but now you don't get it because we couldn't trade Alec Burks and Kemba Walker and Nerlens Noel. So I would have gladly I would have gave up $50 for that, but you don't get it. Alex Trataros, nicest guy in the world. I don't think there's a nicer person living in this universe. Leon Rose made him upset today. How dare you, Leon Rose? You just made Alex Trataros, the nicest guy in the world, have stern chest in his voice. It's messed up. It's messed up. Now,
Yeah, we eating spam tonight.
When we-
it's getting ugly.
when we look at this team, and this performance by this front office, I made a joke while everybody was trying to one up KFTV and Six Flags Flash Pass and take their spaces to the top of the viewerships. I made a Leon Rose sleeping space. No arguments, no toxicity, no nothing. I kept it on mute, and nobody talked, and everybody slept on Twitter. And it was a quasi-joke, and it became reality today that Leon Rose slept through the deadline today. Slept. I truly believe that via Knicks Twitter, 2K, I feel there was more imagination about how to move off Evan Fournier and move off Alec Burks, move off Nerlens Noel and Kemba Walker. There was more imagination on that than within our front office. Here's the red flag. Here's where we all missed it. It wasn't with the
90
with the
seconds.
team-friendly deals. You can forgive them for that. You can forgive them for Randall. This is where we should have all seen it. Now, I'm not calling for anybody to be fired. I'm calling for 25 to life to whoever said, let's move Quentin Grimes for Cam Reddish. That was the red flag. The second that was reported, we should have known there's a big problem here.
No, what's the problem? They didn't do it.
60 seconds.
What's the problem? If the Hawks wanted Grimes, what's the problem? They didn't trade Grimes. So what are you saying?
Because no. There was conversations about whether they wanted to get rid of him. That should not have been a conversation. There was conversations. There was people within the Knicks organization that were in on it and saying there were people that had to push back on it. Whoever was in on that needs to be locked away, never to be entered into the Knicks front office again. This team was constructed not to help R.J. Barrett, not to help Obi Toppin, not to help Emmanuel Quickly. This team was constructed to help the weaknesses exposed by the matchup zone by Nate McMillan against Tom Thibodeau. This team was constructed to help Julius Randle take the pressure off of him.
10 seconds.
And I'm not blaming them, but at some point, you need to build this team and get a point guard. It wasn't supposed to be today. And I'm tired of people saying, oh, the Knicks fans can't be patient in a rebuild. No Knicks fans wanted C.J. McCollum. Now, I'm talking about the majority of us. We didn't want C.J. We didn't want De'Aaron. We didn't want Tyrese Halliburton. We wanted to make a insurance that we were not going to see these veterans play when their value is clearly not what it needs to be. And sure, we can move off them in an expiring deal, but we need to know for sure that we are going to see Deuce McBride. We need to know for sure that we're going to see Jericho Sims over Taj Gibson and Nerlens Noel. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with this team right now because we have no direction. None.
All right.
CP.
Yep.
I'm gonna give you a super chat, $100 super chat, because at this point I'm gonna pay for what I want to see. If I see Deuce McBride start 10 games at point guard this year, you will get $10 for every Deuce McBride start. You will get $10 for every Jericho Sims start, and you will get $10 for every Cam Reddish start.
Yeah.
At this point, I need to pay. I need to pay CAA TV to get my players in the game.
Let's go. Well, we really appreciate the super chats as always, man, from anybody. You know what I'm saying? And hey, Deuce did get 2 starts under his belt this year, so never say never. You're not gonna see Jericho starting over Mitch. You know what I mean? This is money, Mitch. Pay Mitch. I would still pay Mitch. Injuries aside, but yeah, that is a story, man. Great show. Tough loss. Tough loss. I'm talking like we didn't even play it. We didn't even play it.
Prediction for tonight?
We didn't even play it, my man.
Yeah. Prediction for the night. Warriors 115, Knicks 80. 115 to 80.
Blowout.
It's gonna get ugly tonight, man. I think
Get
it's
your
gonna
prize
ugly,
picks.
man. You know the chef likes to kick us when we're down. Yeah, we got to do our prize picks before 7 o'clock. JD, I'm going unders on everybody. So maybe even Chef. It might be an early night for him. So we'll see how it goes, man. J. Cal, enjoy the game. Great show. And yeah, man. Let's run through some of these trades that happened earlier, fellas. Obviously, you had the blockbuster James Harden going to Philly. Ben Simmons going to Brooklyn. I mean, my reaction, I wasn't surprised. I was told that Harden wanted Philly even before he got traded to the Nets. It was talks that, maybe Fertitta didn't want to play ball with Morey, and that's why that thing flopped out. I heard he wasn't so high on playing with KD, wanted to go to Philly the whole time, and now he got his wish. I think both teams are looking quite ferocious right now. If you have a motivated Harden with that lineup, Embiid playing like an MVP, I think Philly has a good chance as anybody. They still kept Thibault in the deal, which was great by Morey. They kept their defensive lockdown defender in there. They still got Maxey, a walking bucket. Tobias at the 4. I like how Philly's looking, man. And I think the Nets, I think this is a better fit for the Nets. People say, well, the Nets were stacked before. I think Simmons to the Nets is a better fit than Harden. And you could throw out a lot of different lineup combinations out there with him. You got Seth Curry out there bombing threes. Now Joe Harris is hurt, but I think both teams upgraded tremendously. I was surprised that they did this interdivision trade. Two teams that's going to be at the top of the East most likely, but it's going to be interesting, man. Al, quick thoughts on this trade.
Yeah, I like Philly more so than the Nets in this case because I think they still kept some of their defensive aspect of it. And then you have Harden, who's just a lethal shooter from behind the arc, which opens it up for Joel Embiid. So it just gives Embiid an opportunity to eat. The good thing about Simmons on the Nets is that if you're talking about needing defense,
right,
you just added it right there.
There it is. And then they added Drummond off the bench.
Sure, you got Drummond, and you also got Seth Curry too. So you got another shooter as well. Someone who's been very consistent, very good 3-point shooter too. Yeah. But yeah, I think I like the Sixers more in this case. I just can't get behind the Nets, man. That's just me.
JD, your thoughts?
And as a as a fan from the outside, this playoffs is going to be very competitive. Imagine a Nets versus, a Sixers series.
Yeah.
And I only think about what a meltdown in Brooklyn, man. If this would have happened with the Knicks, like they gave up everybody in the concession stands, in the arena, their whole future. They gave up everything.
They didn't even need to. Man.
For what? For a rental of James Harden to go back and trade him, and man, and they didn't even get Tyrese Maxey in that deal.
Right.
So
right.
I would have pushed for that because they don't have no picks.
Nothing. They would have been way more balanced keeping LeVert and Jared Allen. And I thought
this is why, CP, we always say it is the hardest sport to build a championship contender.
That's right. That's a fact. That is a whole fact, man. What else happened earlier today? A lot of moves made today, man. It seemed like Shams and Woj were battling. Like 12 o'clock came and they were both just rapid fire with the picks, man. You had Serge Ibaka going to the Bucks. Bucks were looking for some insurance just in case Brook Lopez doesn't come back. That was part of a 4-team deal. Part of the deal, you had DiVincenzo and Trey Lyles going to the Kings. You had Marvin Bagley going to the Pistons. Kind of like those little moves for the Kings. Josh Jackson and Trey Lyles going to the Kings along with DiVincenzo. Kind of like those for the Kings, trying to make a couple little splash moves and make their team respectable. Let's see what else we got here on the docket. The Norman Powell deal, that was the first one. Celtics getting Derek White from the Spurs. Spurs were trying to get from out of that White contract. They get Josh Richardson in return as a centerpiece for that deal. That was pretty interesting there. I'm trying to think. What else was a good one today? Torrey Craig goes from the Pacers to the Suns for Jalen Smith and a future second-round pick. So the Suns looking for some 3-and-D going into the stretch run. Jalen Smith is starting to play well with Phoenix, so that piece goes to the Pacers. And I'm wondering if that's a little bit of insurance for them for Miles Turner. Miles Turner didn't even get traded here, so see what happens there. Montrezl Harrell, so the Wizards continuing to blow it up. Montrezl Harrell getting traded to the Charlotte Hornets for Vernon Carey and Ish Smith. The Knick killer Ish Smith going back to the Wizards. They missed him so bad that he's coming back. So shout out to Ish Smith. What else we got?
Talk about bringing everybody back. Talk about the Celtics and the Rockets Celtics traded Schroeder for Daniel Tice.
Daniel Tice.
And talk about the Celtics getting Tice and Al Horford back in the same year, man. Talk about bringing the band back together.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's crazy what they're trying to figure out there, man.
Same guy that they couldn't get a contract, and the Celtics were able to move him.
Yeah.
I look at deals like that is what adds to the frustration of today.
Yeah, understandable. And Kristaps Porzingis is on the move again. The unicorn going to the Washington Wizards. Doncic kicked him out of town. There was reports they weren't even getting along that well. Spencer Dinwiddie and Bertans going to Dallas. It's an interesting move, man. Very, very interesting move. I was very surprised that that KP got dealt. Dinwiddie seemed like he wore out his welcome in Washington the minute he got there. So that was the first trade rumor to drop. They was like, yeah, Washington does not like Spencer Dinwiddie and wants him out. Period. So
it'll be interesting to see what happens with Beal, because I don't know if he's waking up and he's like, wait, you got me the guy that couldn't make it work with Luka.
Right.
I don't know that I'm as good as Luka, and now he's supposed to make it work with me.
Beal has to be trying to get up out of there, man. What is he doing? But again, it's like
money talks.
Money talks, and it's like McDonough said on the interview. These guys are gonna sign the max bag and figure it out later, and that could be a similar situation with Bradley Beal. You already gave the Wizards a discount. He may just go ahead and get that 5-year max, and then maybe a year or two, ask out.
And real quick, that's why if you're the Knicks, this is why it's important for you to put yourself in a position to where you're an attractive destination.
Yeah.
Just look at James Harden. James Harden has now done this twice in 6 months or whatever, where he's dictated his destination.
Yeah.
So when you guys want to talk about, Spider Mitchell and some of these players in the future, when they get to that point, they'll be able to have some leverage and say of where they want to go, even in the midst of a contract.
Yeah. Gotta be attractive, man. Go ahead, Al.
Free agency is dead, man. It's just guys gotta get their bags, especially with their top end talent, and they're gonna dictate where they want to go.
Yeah.
Nobody's doing LeBron and Wade and these 1-and-1s. That was the LeBron era. That's the durable era. We're
now
done with that.
Well, especially with the cap the way that it is now, it's good. It's projected to be 121 for salary cap next year. And then after the CBA, they're projecting $300 million as supermax deals. Everyone's gonna want their bag before they get up out of there.
No question, man. Raptors trading Goran Dragic, protected first round pick to the Spurs for Thad Young, Drew Eubanks, and a second round pick from the Pistons. Who cares about that? Okay. I think that was pretty much it from the trade deadline.
Goran Dragic got traded.
Yeah, I mentioned that one. He got traded to the Spurs, but he's gonna get bought out by the Spurs, and I think still go to Dallas. Is that correct?
That's what they're saying. The reports are Dallas are the favorites right now. They're the front runners.
Okay. Whatever you want to do, If that's the case, still not help them too much, but we'll see how it plays out. So either way, fellas, we'll be back for the West Coast watch along. Let me salute the super chats real quick that have come in and wrap this thing up. Great show, everybody. Great show to the mods. TM. Shout out to Jared on the phones. Appreciate it. Shout out to Gamba. Shout out to Simon. All the mods, man. Definitely appreciate it. Great job. $10 super chat from O Skrilla. Just shout out to the Squeaker. I'm the biggest Tibbs and Leon supporter, but I can't defend them this year. F-, but it's more on Leon. He knows Tibbs is playing the vets, so why give him trash vets? Good point. JR says, totally disgusted with the New York Knicks front office. Not only by standing pat by the trade deadline, knowing Tibbs is going forward, will continue his inflexible template style lineup. Template coaching, JD. Put it on a t-shirt, man. You missed the boat on the 50 burgers, man, but template coaching could be a best seller. We got to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Got to figure that one out.
Before this one runs out too, because he might be out of here soon.
And Johnny Bryan is named the coach. You know what I'm saying? Got to think fast. Gotta be appreciated. Joanna appreciated. Com3 NYC says Tibbs will always play to win, but we aren't winning. So according to his own philosophy, he should bench himself. I'm good with the team. I'm a fan. I cheer and drink beer. So salute, fellas, salute. Com3 always put it in perspective. Unlimited on box says Knicks front office is in over their heads. They had a young team, brought in a vet coach, and ran it back last year and overpaid. We're a mess. Ren Jawa says, 1, think Tibbs and Randall got to go. 2, too many players. Many players don't believe JD is the problem. Thoughts? Do we need a likable Mark Cuban type? I don't really think it matters, bro. You know, what do we know about the Milwaukee Bucks ownership until they won the championship? I think we put too much stock in the ownership. Owners want to win. They put the people in position to build the team to win. Now, if Leon's not doing the job, you make your next move, you bring in the next guy. Yes, we got to pick the right people to run the team, no question. But I don't think personality type has anything to do with how the team plays. I really don't see that. Above the Rim says, sending this out just for JD. Respect your passion, bro. Only juice or water tonight. Zip, zap, zoom. Leon cleaning house this all season. College game alerts turned on. What do you say? Karate man bruised on the inside. Karate man bruised on the inside. All right, I got to go to Urkel mode now. I got him. All right, we good. Good money. Kent Guerriere says J. Cal, a.k.a. Brian Windhorse. Yeah, J. Cal, they were roasting you in the chat, man. They said he sounded like Brian Windhorse, man. A lot smarter, I would say. First Lady of Sports says Schroeder will be probably bought out by the Houston Rockets. Maybe we can get him and promise him a starting job. He could audition for a permanent point guard. Okay. Not a bad thought. Knicks still do have a roster spot available, fellas. Could Schroeder be the point guard we've been looking for Tibbs to make the playoff push?
CP, stop it.
No, let's not
Stop
do
it,
this.
CP. It's already been a tough day. Stop
want a
amping
point
it up.
guard? Go get Dennis Schroeder in here, man. He loves to
He be
shoot.
the guy we've been waiting for. Get out.
Could he be the guy?
No.
Yeah, I'm good. J. Jermaine 83 says this is Mike Miller's situation all over again. Post deadline, Tibbs is going to be coaching meaningless games to win, and it's going to cost us a better draft pick, which is the most important thing we need right now. Focus on the draft, man. Got to focus on the draft. John Farley says Obi is not a dud. Tell the coach to put his players in the position to succeed, not sit them in the corner because he can't scheme them in the offense. CPR schemes are outdated. I'm done with Tibbs. BX Boy 71 says Tibbs doesn't put his players in position to play well. His offense is trash and he won't change. Same script every team he has coached. Ari Team Friendly Michael says #sorry Ari part 2. All right, so Ari changing his name and bragging. Okay. Shout out to Knicks Film School. Says salute fellas, best wishes conducting therapy today. Yeah, we got through it, man. We always do, man. Boulevard 73 says $5. We getting beat by 50 points tonight. Tibbs runs his teams to the ground and lost his locker room. Facts. Rhyme Animal Chuck D says it better be Lou Alcindor in the draft for twisted, confused times. Everyone has stocked up hard. NY Sports Guy says the only thing I can think of is they were willing to trade for Dragic and now he's in the buyout market, so no need to sacrifice picks and players. Well, he's most likely going to Dallas, so that doesn't help. For Kenny Gales, 45-point loss incoming with 44 Burks minutes. DS Piz 35 says really need to stop buying tickets. Yeah, that's not going to work either. Tion Henry says, in the words of Bill Belichick, we're on to the draft. Jeremy Maynard says maybe they don't like this crop and the potential move were lateral. I disagree, but who am I? Comedian Senator P says, this is why stars don't want to come here. It's not the fans yelling in the front office. It's the front office incompetence. Cam Sims McBride wants and needs to play. Robert Parrish says he's drinking a scotch on the rocks. Yeah, I'm about to get to it tonight. That's going to be my game time drink. Got a little something boxed in. I can't say the name because they didn't sponsor us. They didn't pay the ticket.
Are you sipping?
Oh, I'm sipping tonight. Yeah, sipping tonight. It's Thursday night. You know, it's going to be a long night. Yeah. Right. I think I'm going to, yeah. It was a long day. I'm going to throw something in the glass. Dr. Blocktopus says, man, JDCP going in. Speaking of fans' thoughts, I love the show. So refreshing to hear fans' thoughts and opinions. Jerry Tan says, I can't watch this game tonight. We're really about to see a starting lineup tonight of Kemba Fournier, Burks, Randall, and Taj. Gotta Be Legend says, until further notice, do not refer to Leon Rose as the Don. He is now the Donut because he came up with a fat 0 today. It's good. That's a nice one. Gotcha Open says Kemba starting tonight. We don't need that. Absolutely not. Kenny Gale says, now I get to watch Burks and Kemba guard Steph Curry tonight while RJ sits on the bench in a walking boot because Leon took a nap. What is the plan, Leon? Okay, got those. Sam Khan, got that. And that's it, man. So, fellas, we will be back. West Coast watch along, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Knicks versus Dubs. Hang in there, man. If you guys didn't get your calls in, come back on the Discord tonight, 10 o'clock. We got plenty of time. All right?